The news of the excursion spread like wildfire through JSS2 class. It was a typical Monday morning, and the students were gathered in their classroom, chattering noisily before the teacher arrived. As soon as their class teacher, Mrs. Benson, entered, the room went silent. She looked at them, her face carrying a faint smile, and announced, "Class, we have something exciting planned for you. We will be having a 3-day excursion to explore nature in a rural village." The room erupted with excitement. Some students jumped from their seats, cheering, while others clapped happily. Gina, a soft-spoken but intelligent girl, couldn't hide her smile. She had always loved nature and thought this would be a chance to learn something new. IJ, her outspoken and flashy best friend, joined in the excitement, leaning over to whisper, "This will be so much fun. We'll take amazing pictures." Mrs. Benson explained the details. Departure would be on Wednesday morning, and they would visit streams, farmlands, and the village square to learn about rural life. She encouraged them to prepare well, pack essentials, and listen to instructions. The students were filled with questions. Should we wake up early? What should we pack? Are we staying in hotels? Mrs. Benson laughed, clarifying that they will stay in a school dormitory in the village. This is an educational trip, she emphasized, not a vacation. As the day progressed, the students couldn't stop talking about the trip. Gina and IJ planned to sit together on the bus, while others argued about what snacks to bring. Little did they know, this trip would be more than just an excursion, it would change their lives forever. The week leading up to the excursion was filled with excitement and preparations. At Gina's modest home, her mother carefully packed her bag, ensuring she had everything she needed. "Don't forget to take these snacks," her mother said, handing her a small package of homemade biscuits. Gina smiled, appreciating her mother's thoughtfulness. Though they didn't have much, her mother always made sure she had enough to feel included. On the other hand, IJ's preparations were extravagant. Her wealthy parents bought her new clothes, a camera, and a backpack filled with snacks and gadgets. IJ flaunted her new items on their class WhatsApp group, sending pictures and bragging about how stylish she would look on the trip. Some classmates were impressed, while others rolled their eyes. Meanwhile, the teachers finalized their arrangements. Mrs. Benson reminded the students to bring their school ID cards and warned them about following rules. "This is not a playground," she said firmly during class, "and we must ensure everyone stays safe." The night before the trip, Gina double-checked her bag, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. She thought about the farmlands and streams they'd explore and how much she could learn. IJ, however, was busy snapping selfies in her new outfits, already imagining how much attention she would get. As morning came, both girls woke early, their bags ready. Gina kissed her mother goodbye, promising to stay safe. IJ's driver dropped her off at school in a sleek car, making a grand entrance. The students gathered in the schoolyard, their laughter and chatter filling the air. When the bus finally arrived, everyone rushed to grab seats. Gina and IJ sat together, laughing as they looked forward to the adventure ahead. The bus roared to life, the engine humming with anticipation. The students waved at their parents as the vehicle slowly pulled out of the school compound. Some students sang at the top of their voices, while others excitedly pointed at the passing scenes. Gina sat by the window, her face glowing with happiness as she watched the city streets gradually give way to lush greenery. IJ, beside her, scrolled through her phone, showing Gina photos of the snacks and gadgets she had packed. "Look at this power bank," IJ said proudly, "it can charge my phone 5 times. Gina chuckled, amused by her friend's excitement. The journey was long, and as the hours passed, different dynamics began to play out among the students. A group at the back of the bus started a debate about the best snacks for road trips, while others played games. A minor misunderstanding broke out between 2 boys over who should sit by the aisle, but Mrs. Benson quickly stepped in to resolve it. Meanwhile, IJ grew slightly annoyed when Gina started chatting with one of the average girls in class, who had joined their seat for a moment to ask about homework. "Why are you entertaining her?" IJ whispered, frowning. Gina told her, "Because she is a human," dismissing IJ's possessiveness. As the bus entered the rural side, the air felt fresher, and the scenery more vibrant. They passed rolling hills, small huts, and streams that glistened under the sun. The teachers reminded everyone to take note of the surroundings. "This is part of your learning experience," Mr. Ode, the geography teacher, said. By the time they arrived at the village, the students were tired but excited. The welcoming sights and sounds of rural life greeted them, and they couldn't wait to explore. Stepping off the bus, the students were greeted by a group of villagers. The elders smiled warmly, while a group of children waved excitedly. The fresh, earthy smell of the village was a sharp opposite of the bustling city they had left behind. The students were shown to their temporary accommodations, a large school dormitory with bunk beds. Gina admired the simplicity of the setup, but IJ wrinkled her nose. "Where's the AC?" she muttered. Gina rolled her eyes and laughed, reminding IJ that this wasn't a luxury trip. After settling in, the students were given a brief tour of the village. The head of the village, a kind old man named Chief Odigon, led the way. They visited farmlands where farmers worked diligently, explaining their methods of planting and harvesting. Gina asked several questions, impressing the villagers with her curiosity. Later, the group was taken to a wide stream surrounded by towering trees. The water was crystal clear, and the students were fascinated. IJ snapped pictures, posing dramatically by the water, while Gina quietly admired the beauty of nature. As evening approached, the students returned to the dormitory for dinner. They were served local delicacies, roasted corn, bushmeat, and fresh fruit. Gina enjoyed every bite, while IJ complained about the lack of soda. That night, the students gathered around a campfire. Chief Odigon shared stories about the village's history, captivating everyone. Gina felt a deep connection to the place, while IJ grew bored and whispered to another student, "I wish they had Wi-Fi here." Despite their differences, the students couldn't deny the magic of the village. As they prepared for bed, Gina felt a sense of peace, unaware of the challenges that lay ahead. On the second day, the students explored deeper parts of the village, including another stream. They also visited the village square, where elders taught them about traditions. Gina even helped the local women in preparing dinner, earning more admiration. As night falls, the students gather around the campfire again. This time around, Gina shares stories that captivate the group, making IJ feel overshadowed. Gina notices IJ's odd behavior but brushes it off. Meanwhile, IJ begins planting seeds of doubt about Gina among other students. The next day, as the student prepares to leave the village to the city, IJ pretends to misplace her phone in one of the largest streams they visited. She gently convinces Gina to follow her there to pick up the phone before leaving. She became suddenly friendly toward Gina, masking her intentions. At the stream, IJ pushed Gina into the deep waters. Gina struggled in shock while IJ coldly watched for a moment before running away. Back at the camp, the students all entered the bus. IJ planted Gina's belongings on her seat in the bus. And when the teacher shouted, "Are we all here?" IJ's voice was the loudest when the student echoed, "Yes, ma." The bus left, with everyone assuming Gina is on board. Meanwhile, Gina fights for her life in the stream. Rain poured heavily as Gina clings to rocks and debris. Exhausted, she cries for help, but the villagers rarely visit the stream on Fridays. Gina prays as the current pulls her downstream. Her strength begins to fade. As she was about to lose it all, a young boy who went to hunt with his father last heard Gina's faint cries. When he saw her, he alerted his father, who hopped on the canoe to save Gina despite the heavy rain. The hunter navigated through the dangerous stream, guided by the boy. Gina's faint cries grew weaker. The hunter finally rescued Gina, unconscious but alive. They took her to the village elder's hut. He began to treat Gina the traditional way. She remains unconscious, while the elders debate on how to contact the school. In the bus, IJ felt victorious. After all, she has convinced everyone that Gina must be asleep in a hidden corner when they couldn't see her. When Gina regained consciousness, she was weak but grateful. She tried to recall what happened and start piecing IJ's betrayal together. She called out their teacher's phone number to the elder to inform her about Gina. Mrs. Benson told the bus driver to turn back to the village, while IJ began to panic. When they got to the village, Gina narrated everything that happened to the villagers and the teachers. IJ's lies started unraveling. She tried to deny Gina's claims, but evidence mounts against her. The villagers demanded IJ apologize publicly. She did, and the teachers also promised them that IJ will face punishment once they return to the city. The students returned to the city, their mood a mix of relief and reflection. Gina, although tired, feels empowered after surviving her ordeal. IJ, however, sat alone, dreading what awaits her. Gina's family welcomed her with tears of joy after hearing about her survival. Her mother thanks the teachers and villagers for saving her daughter. Gina recounts her story to her family, careful not to let fear overwhelm her. The next Monday, IJ was summoned by the school principal. He expressed disappointment, reminding her of the trust she broke. That was when she let her pride down and realized the gravity of her actions. The principal gave her a punishment to join the social worker in serving the community all through her JSS2. At school, Gina became more reserved, focusing on her studies. Her classmates admire her resilience and offer support, but Gina still struggles with lingering fears of betrayal. IJ, on the other hand, felt the weight of social rejection. Her classmates avoid her, and even her closest friends distance themselves. She starts to reflect deeply on her actions and their consequences. On Friday of the same week, IJ finally gathered the courage to approach Gina on her desk and apologize. She broke down, admitting her jealousy and regret. Gina listened quietly. She told IJ that they have a long way to go and she is too young to be wicked. "What if I wasn't found, will you continue feeling better?" Gina asked IJ. Gina told the whole class to stop treating IJ bad, that she will become better after serving her punishment. With that, she hugged IJ and told her she has forgiven her, but they can't be best friends anymore. IJ felt she deserved it. She thanked Gina and everyone for their forgiveness and promised to be better. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe for more.